have you smiled at somebody today that you did not know? Have you helped somebody this week that needed your help? Did you see someone throughout this year being teased or bullied? And did you step in to make the situation better? These are the things that we all need to be responsible for, to take responsibility for each other.
You're here at this conference for this purpose, for this reason, to learn something today. Now, here's your opportunity to make change. Let me say that again. Here is your opportunity to make change. So I'm asking you to stay committed, stay diligent, do what you have to do, and enjoy these next couple of days with each other. Thank you so much.
Does everyone know what Urgent Inc. does? Let me tell you a little bit about Urgent Inc. First off, this is the third year of this conference, this economic conference for youth. This is an amazing event that's taking place here. And let me tell you why. Because it recognizes something that most people don't understand. Change has to come from you. We can't make it the change. You have to do. This has to come from youth-based organizations. And that's what Urgent Inc. is. This panel is going to focus on, face, film, arts, coding, entrepreneurship, all the exciting things, the creativity that you can bring to bear, that can lift you up and take you almost anywhere you want to go. That's what this conference is about. And I want to make this town hall as interactive as possible. I want to make this a two-way dialogue. I want the panelists to sort of just take a couple of minutes, just 2 minutes. We're going to go down the line, sort of talk a little bit about what you think these folks need to hear. So let's start on the far end and just work our way down. Just take a couple of minutes, address the group, and then we'll open it up and start getting some conversation and some questions going. Please, sir.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. I always believe that when I look at you, you guys are like the future leaders of our country. And when I retire, I'm going to be seeing you guys on TV on what kind of work or life that you're going to be. And it's great to be associated with this movement. And personally, I want to thank you for having me. And on behalf of my principal, Miss Danielle, it's a pleasure for us to be part of this gathering, and we wish you all the best and the success in all your endeavors.
All right, next, come on down.
Good morning. My name is Cynthia Stafford, and I am the state representative for Florida House District 109. I am a legislator in Tallahassee. I represent 109, and that encompasses Overtown, Wynwood, Midtown, Allapattah, Brown Sub, Brownsville, Liberty City, Opelika, and the southern portion of Miami Gardens. Y'all come on, give it up, 109. And let me extend greetings to you, because where you're sitting now is House District 109. This campus, Miami-Dade College, is located here in District 109. And thank you to Dr. Harrison and to Urgent Inc. for convening this forum, because ultimately, you guys, we need to hear from you. If I had to say 3 words, and I'll say this quickly, Jim, because I know you're clocking me, please don't ring the bell yet. I would say, do your best, be your best, and always give your best. You find a dream, you hold on to it, and you never let it go. And finally, what someone said to our U.S. attorney, he said this long years ago when he was first sworn in, don't you ever say no to yourself. Others may say no to you, but don't you say no to you. I'm from Liberty City. I'm born and raised right here in this community. I'm a state representative, I'm an attorney, and a college professor. And I'm right here in Liberty City representing this community, because you know why? This community invested in me. And now I'm going to invest back in this community, and that's by investing in you guys. So thank you for being here. Enjoy your conference. Learn a lot. Take it in. And I expect good things from you, because the best is yet to come. Thank you, Jim.
All right, let me just stop here for a quick second. How many people in this room right now are 18? Are going to be 18 by November? Are you all registered to vote?
Right.
Are you or are you not? How many of you know who your state representative is? Oh, that's a problem. How many know who your state senator is? Who knows what your county commissioner is? If you don't know who these people are, they don't care who you are. They only care if you make them care. Am I right, State Representative?
You're right.
So you have to educate yourself. Even if you're 17, even if you're 16, know who these people are. Anyway, keep going down the line.
Good morning, everybody. I'm William Aristide, the principal of Booker T. Washington Senior High School, a proud principal of Booker T. Washington Senior High School. I brought Northwestern up because my brother is the principal at Northwestern. And a good friend of mine, Mr. Bethune, is principal of Central, and I know a lot of the local principals. But I just want to say how appreciative I am by being invited to speak at this forum this morning. So I really want to thank Urgent Inc. and Miami-Dade College, as well as City of Miami, CRA, all those folks that helped put this together. This is truly amazing. I think I wish when I was in high school or I was a young adult, I had an opportunity to experience something like this. You all are put in a very special place where you can actually sit down and listen to some wonderful ideas, some great things to make yourself a better person. And you also have the opportunity. Please take advantage. If you have any questions that you think any of us can help you with, to assist you with, it is truly, truly an opportunity. We're all honored to be here. So I just want to, I'm not going to take too long, but I just want to tell you all, hey, congrats to you all for being here. Because as was mentioned earlier, you all are our future. But at the same time, each and every one of you are great. You're great people. You have great potential. But the key is to make sure that you're able to utilize the potential. We sit here at Miami-Dade College. I actually attended this school many, many years ago. And I remember coming to Miami-Dade College. I eventually went off to FSU and University of Miami and FAU, but I know this is where I started. And I can tell you this, the education that I received here at this college helped propel me to where I am today in terms of being a principal and trying to do wonderful things for our community. But kids, please take advantage of this, utilize this, ask good questions, make sure that you ask those questions that you feel are in your heart. Thank you again for having me.
Good morning. I'm Diana Ragbear. I'm the Director of Public Policy and Community Engagement for the Children's Trust. I'm totally inspired by the music we just heard before. I remember dropping my young son, Justin, off here years ago. He went through the music production program here. He has his own studio now. So I am thrilled, and I want to say that the Children's Trust is here for you. Thank you to Urgent Inc., one of the programs we're proud to fund. Thank you to Miami-Dade College again. I created the Youth Advisory Committee in 2003, 1 year after the Children's Trust was created, with just 9 students. And it has gone on to represent 50 and 60 students, thanks to Michael Malone, who's here in our audience, and some of our summer youth interns who are sitting right over at that table. Yes, I saw you dancing, I saw you happy. So I want to say that we invest in everything from summer youth employment in partnership with Miami-Dade Public Schools and the county. And it's not just a program where youth can just make some dollars, but that they're pursuing their career dreams. We are mentoring them in life skills, coaching and development. If you want to produce movies, if you want to have your own business, we go around and we ask students, what is your passion? What is your dream? And we hear things like, I want to be a realtor. I want to design shoes. When we got to that student who said that once, we were like, shoot, design shoes? And then we thought about it. How many people would really, really love to have an opportunity to design sneakers in Taiwan for Reebok? I think that's a really profitable opportunity. So we've connected that student to someone who will allow him and help him to do that. It's about, I like to say that our youth development programs are about listening, connecting, and engaging.
So Diana, let me just interrupt you here. So you go out and try to talk to them about what they want. Suppose they have an idea. Suppose they have something they want to bring to you. How do they do that? How do they reach you to be able to bring an idea and say, I'd like to pursue this, can you help me?
Wonderful question. Several ways. You can join our Youth Advisory Committee. Applications are online right now. You can call me anytime. You can drop me a line, Diana@thechildrenstrust.org. Diana with one N, DIANA, @thechildrenstrust.org. We take our students to Tallahassee every year. We go and visit Representative Stafford and Senator Dwight Bullard, who was here, and many others. We meet with the governor. We meet with so many people up there. It's one of the most valuable experiences our YAC members tell us. We take them on tours of college campuses along the way. We're part of Peace Jam, where we connect youth with Nobel Peace Prize winners to share their spirits and their inspirations.
If you haven't written down her email address, say it again.
Diana@thechildrenstrust.org. And I'm going to expect my inbox to be full when I get back to the office.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Michelle Howard Vital, the Vice President of Academic Affairs at Florida Memorial University, and I'm very, very new to this community, and I'm very, very impressed. I think I've been here about 6 months. Florida Memorial University each year looks for about 500 talented young men and women, and guess what we look for them for? To give them scholarships. So the higher your GPA, the larger the scholarship. One of the things that we do is we try to design our curriculum and co-curriculum activities like internships to help you through what we call guided career pathways. So not only do you enter, you get degree programs, but we help you with internships and other experiences to get jobs. One of the things I want to leave you with here is I've heard this a lot, but I want to underscore it. Economic development begins with you, right? And when I say that, I mean developing your own brand. Companies spend a lot of money developing brands or characters. So are you the kind of person that can be trusted? Are you a hard worker? Are you someone who helps other people developing your brand? Think about what is your brand, because your brand should continue to develop throughout your life. And the last thing I want to leave you with is investing in yourself. When you go to, you take courses at various colleges, don't just get the A. I've taught so many years and students say, how do I get the A? What students should say is, how do I get the most out of this course I possibly can? How do I make this course work for me? Invest in yourselves. Take algebra. Don't be afraid of statistics, right? You can't be a STEM major. You can't be a physician or any of those other things you want to do being afraid of algebra. Invest in yourself. Learn as much as you possibly can about the world around you. Various languages, various countries. Invest in yourself. And because I am new, I'm really going to listen very, very well so I can learn more about you.
I saved the best for last because this is who we want to hear from. So go ahead. Our student representatives.
Good morning. My name is Shantaria. I'm 16 years old. I attend Matter Academy Charter High School. I'm currently a dual enrollment student here at Miami-Dade College in FIU. I just want to say that it's such a pleasure to be here today. You know, I'm a Miami-Dade Youth Commissioner for District 2, overseeing the areas of Liberty City, Opelika, Biscayne, and North Miami, and under Gene Monestein, Commissioner Gene Monestein. So I'm just honored to be here today because one of the most impactful ways to make a change in a community is by hearing the voice and by hearing the voice of the youth in our community. So I'm really interested in what you guys have to say today, because whatever you guys say today, I will be more than happy to take back to Commissioner Monestein to let him know that our voices do matter and there are things that we want to be done in our community. So thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Carolina Espinal, and I am a commissioner for District 13, and I am also a student journalist. And I believe that one of the best things about being a student journalist is honestly just knowing everything that's around me, being conscious about all the affairs that's happening, the policy making, everything that's happening in my society, and in turn, the world. And as a youth, as a 17-year-old, I know exactly what it is and what I want to do. And I see myself in your shoes, you know, as a youth, and it's so important to be involved. There's this stigma going around that the youth is apathetic and that they don't care. And I think by being here, you guys are fighting that stigma. You guys are being involved, and that's the best thing you can do, because you guys are the future, and although it seems so far away, you guys can very well be the next president and the next legislators that our world is going to know. And thank you for being here, and it's such a pleasure to be here and an honor to be amongst people that really care, to be amongst the youth that just wants to know more and that is curious. So take this as an advantage and come up and ask questions, and thank you for being so involved.
3, 2.
Be focused. Be original. Be a trendsetter. Be an explorer. Be the solution. Be visionary. Be a hero. Be the answer. Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
I'm going to stick with Shantaria and Carolina for a second, and I'm going to ask them this question, but I want you guys to think about it as well. But I'm going to start by putting them on the spot since they're up here. So, Shantaria, you sort of talked about it a little bit. You know, what is it that you got all these impressive people to your left, principals, heads of trust, a state representative. What don't they know? What don't they understand? What don't they get about young people today?
Well, like as I mentioned, there's, as a student journalist, and when I'm doing interviews, there's a lot of times that since I am a youth, I'm looked down upon because I'm so young. And the assumptions that they make, that the older people make, is that we are apathetic, that we don't care, or that we're unprofessional. And so they kind of demean and condescend us, the youth. But that's something that they don't get, and again, that's an assumption. But that's why the youth is here, and that's why it's important to be involved, so that you can fight that stigma, and so that it doesn't matter your age, of course, it doesn't matter how young you are. It's never too early to have professionalism and to be professional.
How many of you out there agree with what she just said? You believe that folks who are older don't respect what you have to say? Somebody, so describe, tell me what that looks like. Somebody describe it for me. Somebody out there.
I think that when it comes to adults, that the idea is that some children, they don't understand that we can't come to you to ask questions because you guys say so much stuff that we don't understand. Having the idea, you guys are being open to us to ask questions, but as we want to ask questions, acknowledge us when we want to say something, so that we can say something before we forget what we're going to say.
I want to turn to JC for a second. So go ahead, JC.
So what I want to ask you guys is, most people are taking offense to Black Lives Matter instead of the hashtag All Lives Matter. What is your take on that?
I feel like all lives do matter, but at the time, focus is Black Lives Matter because we're the ones going through a lot right now. So all lives do matter, but at this time, we need to focus on Black lives and protecting the Black lives.
Thank you for the question. It's a very good question. And I agree with the young man who just gave his answer. And look, if this is the way that our young people choose to express themselves, saying Black Lives Matter, I support it. I support it, because if that's how you choose to express yourselves, I support it. Young people are saying that adults usually don't listen. Well, if you want to say Black Lives Matter, I support your Black Lives Matter movement, because, again, if that's how you feel and that's how you want to express yourself, it's in a peaceful, non-violent, it's in an awareness type of situation. So, hey, go for it, promote it. And again, I understand with All Lives Matter as well, but when a Black Lives Matter movement has started, they're saying, look, there's an experience that we have that all lives don't have. So when we want to segregate it out and say we have to focus on us right now, to put our plight out into the community or into the world, to let people know, look, this is how we feel about us. Our lives matter, so Black Lives Matter. And so I don't have a problem with it, and I support in what you do.
All right. Anyone else?
When you were our age, what did you do to get yourself ahead of the game? Like, how did you become who you are now?
I followed my dream. I followed my passion. I wanted to be a geographer. I wanted to walk all over the face of the earth, down river valleys and along beaches and look at soil samples and all of that. And I just did it. I didn't research whether it was going to pay and what I could do with it. Those are good things to do too, don't get me wrong, but I just followed my dream. And one path led me to another, which led me to where I am today. You just keep going in the direction that your heart is calling you.
To answer that question, I think one of the things when I was your age, and none of us were perfect as kids, let me be clear now. When adults tell you how they were perfect when they were young kids, none of us were perfect. However, I think one of the things that I've always valued is an education. I've always valued my education. I never took it for granted. I've always tried to do things that will encourage that education. And one thing that was important to me is I never wanted to put my parents in a position where they'll be embarrassed by something I've done. Right. Whether it's doing something here in Miami with my friends or being away to college, I've always done things, and I always had in the back of my mind, if I'm gonna, and I never did drugs, but if I even thought about seeing folks who did drugs, I always said to myself, how would my mother and father feel about this? True story. And those are the things that kept me straight, because they worked hard to try to keep me in a certain mindset, to be straight and so forth. And my Booker T. Washington students, that's part of the reason why I get on you all, is that I want you all to have your mind correct. I want you to make smart decisions. I want young people as a whole to make smart decisions that's better for them. And if I could just jump in, I know they mentioned something about Black Lives Matter. You're right, all lives do matter. But at the same time, I think part of that movement had to do with the fact that there are so many young black men that are being shot and killed by the police. There are so many young black men who are being incarcerated. There are so many and the number, when you compare to other groups, is much higher amongst black men. Black men are 4 times more likely to be shot and killed by a police officer than any other group. And that's the reality of it. And they need to change. And I think by saying Black Lives Matter, people don't want to deal with the term black, but that's one of the issues that's impacting us. We need to have honest, upfront dialogues with each other and realize, yes, Hispanic lives matter, white lives matter, but Black lives matter too. And if we are getting the majority of the negative pieces of it, therefore we need to make an issue. We need to talk. And again, we need to hold our politicians responsible in terms of what they say and how they treat folks and so forth. I'm not going to push a political party one way or another. However, I'm not going to vote for somebody that don't think that Black lives matter. I'm not going to vote for somebody who don't think Mexican lives matter or Hispanic lives matter or Cuban lives matter. I'm going to vote for somebody who think all lives matter, and I think that's one of the issues that we have right here. And those folks who don't believe that, then we don't need to vote for them.
Go ahead.
My name is Joel Hurtado. I represent for the Brotherhood. I have a statement. Now, you're right about the police enforcement. That's right, correctly. And I really think back in the years how people was racist, how they discriminate black people to white. I still think that happens between when a black person get pulled over by a white officer. Now, thing about it is, it's scary because you don't know what's gonna happen. You really don't know what's happening. And you're right. That don't mean if one person go down that all of us should stop. That really do not mean that. That means if one person go down, we look at them, we pray for them, whoever died, we look at them and say, we gotta step up our game, our A game, and say, we still gotta make this movement happen. Because if we step down a step, that means we're just backing away. We don't want this situation to get fixed.
All right, let me just ask this, and I'll let you continue. So the people, I think we've established that the people who are in this room, the young people in this room, are special. They think right. They've got a goal in their mind. Do you think that most young people out there who aren't here think that way? And if they feel defeated, what can we do? What can you do really to send that message, spread that message through your schools, that they shouldn't give up, they shouldn't feel out?
What everybody should do is become a leader. Them two representatives are leaders. If you have one person saying one thing, somebody's going to listen, not hear, listen what they saying, and then say it to somebody else. That's how rumors get started if you think about it. That's how hashtag gets started. It starts from one place, go to another, and then it becomes the biggest thing. It becomes the biggest thing. And I think if every black person is getting killed over there, we should make, like I keep saying, it's a movement for us that we should keep going forward for that goal. That's a goal. And it's not going to be an easy goal. It's really not. It's going to be the hardest goal. It's like life struggle. If life is going to hit you hard in the face, it don't matter if you just step down and cry. No, it don't mean that. It's how you get back up and you keep moving forward and don't step back.
But the media plays a role. We should be celebrating what's happening in here today, instead of when people are getting shot by youth, instead of when bad things are happening and their youth happens to be the perpetrator. But it's things like this that we need to see more of, so that people will know that our children will succeed regardless of their circumstances. So circumstances won't hold down our children, and for people to have that, and not you, I'm just saying, for us as adults to sometimes think that is the expectation because of your zip code or where you live, you're going to act or be a certain way. That's not true. And so when you cast a wide net and stereotype our children like that, that's not the truism, and we hear it today. So thank you, young people, for speaking up. Thank you for informing us and letting us, the adults, know you all will succeed. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. Thank you, Jim. I had to just get that out.
No, go ahead.
I'm Yasmin. I attend Booker T. Washington Senior High. When a black officer or a white officer approaches anybody, I mean, because of the youth, they feel like they're gonna be attacked, but at the same time, that does not give them the right to shoot somebody 6 times in the chest, regardless of how you feel. Also, it's just, like he said, the young man said, he was like, it's about us coming together to reach this one goal, that all lives matter, not just black lives, all lives. Just to be here and to witness that that we do have children who care about the community, that I feel is more than enough to move on and make a big change.
Progress is a process. The reward is not in the destination, it's in the journey.
Three, two.
Be focused. Be original. Be a trendsetter. Be an explorer. Be the solution. Be visionary. Be a hero. Be the answer. Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
My question is for the young lady right there. Are you still in school, and how do you manage this great position that you have if you're still in school?
I'm going to 12th grade. I'm going on my 2nd year in college, so I could graduate with my AA degree already. I'm a Miami-Dade Youth Commissioner. I'm also a juvenile justice advocate. So your question is, how do I manage all of these things? You need to prioritize what you have to do and say, no, this weekend I went out, so next weekend I'm gonna study, or next weekend I'm gonna do my homework or something. So it's mainly about prioritizing your situations. And as far as the Youth Commission and organizing that and keeping good grades while I'm also a part of the Youth Commission, it's just time management. And I feel like everybody in here is able to do as many things as I do. So you shouldn't feel discouraged because you feel like, oh man, I can't do that. My mom's not gonna do this, because I have my own problems too. My mom does not provide transportation for everywhere I go. There's Ubers now. You take an Uber, $3, carpool with somebody. There's a way for everything, so don't ever feel discouraged.
Okay, hello. I'm Lyric Patterson. I'm part of ROP, and I attend Miami Northwestern Senior High. And I wanted to kind of speak on the Black Lives Matter. They were saying that, oh, all lives matter, but what I don't understand is how can all lives matter if Black lives don't matter? I mean, you killing innocent people shedding innocent blood, but yet you saying all lives matter. No, it doesn't work like that. So my question is to you guys is, how do you think that we can fix this dilemma? Because obviously what we're doing now is not working.
I don't have like a major solution. To me, I don't think it matters about our skin color. So that's why all lives matter. It should matter about the character inside of us and how we're gonna strive for our goals. If we each how you say it, come together and try to make something out of all of ours to start a future, then something can happen, right? And then it doesn't matter if who lives matter, because all of our lives matter, you know? It's not about anybody's skin color, it's just how it is, you know?
A lot of us are in here, I'm assuming we want to make a difference, right? So how come we're only focusing on us? We got to also help the people outside. There's kids like my age that's doing illegal things, and we're only focusing on a certain group. We shouldn't focus on a certain group, because you don't know what other kids are capable of. I didn't know what I was capable of until I got put in an institute that I didn't feel comfortable with. And until my instructor said, oh, let me see, put your ideas down on the paper. And I made my ideas come real. There are many kids out there that wants to put their ideas on the paper, but they don't have the chance to do that. And all they're doing is gang banging and all that, smoking and all that. So how can we find ways to...
Let me ask you this. Why do you think they go that path?
So the way they grew up, to be honest.
You think it starts in the house, in the home?
For me, yes, that's what I would say. Some kids grow up the way they grew up, people they hang around, or what they witness.
But I think that the problem is we don't talk to you to find out where that crossroads is that you come to, and what can we do to help you make that choice? Or is it completely on you and it has nothing to do with us?
No, there's a lot of things you can do, and like this program, all of us can do a lot, to be honest. First and foremost, the first thing we can do is each of us in this room have friends that are out there that are not doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. So why not encourage them and tell them, hey, come join us. Let's change your life, man. What's out there, what's in here is better than what's out there. So
do you think that they're more likely to listen to you as a young person than they would be to listen to the state representative or the principal?
I strongly believe that.
So how do we make that happen more? How do we encourage that to happen in a larger forum? And maybe that's where the adults can come into play, is to facilitate that to happen more, to create that sort of environment. If it means funding, if it means putting a program together, that's why you got a state representative up here, because we need money from Tallahassee, or we need the money from the county commission. We can, if you guys come up with the solutions like that, if we think that's the way to at least part of the answer, then where you need to come to us is say, here it is, now help us make it happen. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And so I'm going to turn to the panel up here. What do they then need to do to come to you? Go ahead. Somebody raise their hand.
I believe if you are a negative person, you will attract negativity. And if you want to change as an individual, you will surround yourself with positive-minded people that wants to help you change. Your friends are everything. If you hang around negative people, you will have a negative life. If you hang around positive people, you will have a positive life.
But your point that you're making is that the best people to rescue a young person is another young person.
Yes, sir. The reason is because I've had a couple of friends that were doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing, and I didn't like it because I know what they're capable of, but they're not putting effort. So I gave them a speech. I always gave my friends a speech. I told them what they're capable of. I told them, look at me, man. Look what I've been through. But do you see me giving up? Nah, keep going. So you could do the same thing. Having a grown-up come talk to you, honestly, I don't think it's going to change you, because all grown-ups, in my opinion, all grown-ups are just want to scold you in the head. I mean, they want you to do better in life and stuff.
So,
but at the same time, we don't really listen to y'all.
So I'm going to turn to the Children's Trust person here, because I think now this seems to me to be a perfect project. And maybe it exists already. Maybe there is a ambassador program or a reach program or a youth-to-youth programs that are out there, but maybe they need to be expanded. Maybe it's done through the schools, maybe it's not. Maybe it's done through the community centers. That sounds like a great project for the Children's Trust to be taking on as well.
I would love to work with you on that, because when we have our youth listening sessions, it is confirming exactly what you said. Peer-to-peer is how youth really respond. So if we wanted to supplement the 211 helpline that we fund, for instance, you're going to normally get an adult. But what if we had youth who have gone through shared experiences answering some of those calls and could relate to you? Would that be something that's attractive to you? Instead of adult role models, always, we need them.
Yes,
They're
ma'am.
experienced and they have wisdom and they know where the pothole in the road is around the corner so you don't break your chassis. But there is somebody you can relate to your age who's walking in your shoes. So do we need to sort of expand our mentorship programs and our helplines to include youth in your shoes?
So that's a question to you, and I think you said yes. How many? Let me go to the group, because this is what that moment. It's not as high voltage as other parts of the program have been, but this is the point where suddenly ideas can take form and be action, and can make change. Do people in this room, do you agree with what he said? Let me hear by applause if you agree with what he said. All right. How many people in this room have a similar experience to him, where you know someone who's on a wrong path and feel as if you could reach out to them, you could, but you don't know how? Does people out here have that? Do you reach out, or is it something that you feel you don't want to get involved in their business and you need help figuring that out? All right, because I mean that's the difference, and it's the same thing with the police. I often find with the police, when I just do that, when I heard the shooting in Minnesota, the thing that took me, apart from the fiancé's incredible composure during the entire videotape, was the sound of the cop's voice. He was terrified. He was scared. And I think that's the other takeaway I took, is that in many ways, as afraid as people in the community are of police, you have to understand increasingly they're afraid of you. And when you take away that fear, that's the way to do this. And it's peer-to-peer, and it's all the rest of it. So who else wants to talk about that idea of trying to bring young people together to sort of bring them in?
Jim, may I add a comment? So I said to my staff, you know what? Let's have a town hall meeting, and it's called Speak Up, We're Listening. I don't want any parents in the room, adults only. And we're going to talk to the young people, and we want you to come up with the action items, the plan of action. And I want to hear it all. And I told the police, I don't want anybody being arrested today unless I hear sexual abuse. But if a child saw a gun last night, if they saw drugs last night, I want them to be free to tell us today, so that we can start to now develop a plan to help the children or young people. The youngest person I had in there that raised their hand about a gun, I think, was about 10 years old, that saw one. But I also had the undertaker come in with a casket. And I had him to open the casket and put a mirror in, and I wanted every youth to pass by and look in and say, if you make wrong choices and you go into illegal behavior, this is where you more likely than not will end up. I want you sitting on this side of the church, not on that side in that casket. So they came up with some ideas, Jim, but what I'm hearing is that if the Children's Trust is able, maybe we can all collaborate and come up with a plan of action with some sustainable, and I'm talking about action steps that's developed by you. Now, we're going to, again, give you the wisdom, because there are some things that we can fine tune with your ideas, but I wanted to hear from you what was going on and how can we stop all this in the community. And I think that is a great idea, and I'd be willing to work, and I think all of us up here are stakeholders that can work together to come up with. I'm getting ready to do it. It'll be in September sometime, but I'll let you all know. But Jim, I think that you're right on target, that we develop this plan with action items. And I understand about your feelings and your emotions, but give us some concrete steps. We need to hear from you. The government officials don't have all the answers. The education system doesn't have all the answers. The religious community and the business community don't have all the answers. We need to hear from you, because ultimately you are our future, and it impacts all of us when we hear from you. I think the 800 number, the hotline with a youth there, is a great idea as a start.
One of the things that I think, and they say, how do we change a lot of this? I think one of the first things that we can do as a community is really, really emphasize education. Really, really emphasize education. I know people may say, well, Ms. Araceli, what does that look like? What it means is, I think if we were to push education, we were to push our kids to seek better educational opportunities, I think our kids would benefit from that. When I look at boys, and I'm going to focus on boys for a few minutes. When I look at boys, many times boys join gangs because they're looking for something to relate to. They join gangs because many times, unfortunately, and this is the adult's fault, there is no real male figure in their life to really guide them and give them directions. So they join gangs, and what do they call each other when they're in the gangs? My brother, my this, my that. And I think that's one of the things that's impacting our community in terms of men as a whole stepping up and working closely with our boys. The reason why I'm saying that, one of the things that I see all the time as a principal, I could go to the average girl in the 9th grade, the average girl in the 9th grade, and she has a much better perception of where she wants to be 4 years from where she is, as opposed to even some 12th grade boys. Because a 9th grade girl, the average one, oh, I want to study this, I want to be a nurse, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a doctor, I want to go to this college. On average, I don't think boys embrace education the same way that girls do in our community. And until we start to look at education and we start to see education for what it can provide us in the future, I think that's when we're going to start to make better decisions for ourselves. Because if you're an educated person, you're a smart young man, you're not going to make bad decisions. You're not going to just decide to go and join a gang for the sake of joining a gang. You're not going to go ahead and start selling drugs for the sake of selling drugs, because you've taken the time out to realize the negatives that come with this. And I must say this, Jim, and I need to say this to all the various organizations represented here in Urgent Inc. and so forth. I'm terribly impressed by the questions that these young people have asked, both young men and young ladies. You guys are doing a great job. But I'm going to keep this. Please don't ever give up on education. Do not ever give up on education. We need more boys going to college, because our girls are going to college. They are, and they're succeeding, and they're doing very well. Our girls are going to college, and they're doing extremely well. I mean, I look at my top 20 students that just graduated from Booker T. 18 of the top 20 were girls. 18, and I think one of my boys, he made 19, and he was ranked 19th, and the other one was like 7th or so. But our girls are embracing education, and I think a lot of it, moms are pushing that, and they see great role models with regards to their mothers and aunts and so forth. But it's not just the fathers, but I'm talking about uncles.
The lunch bell's going to ring here, Principal. I got to move you along.
Okay. All right, no problem. That's what I was saying, Jim. Thank you.
I'll give you the last word since this is your group, your event. Go ahead.
Okay, to end things off, I hope everyone has taken something from this session, and I hope you share with people outside of this session. Thank you.
All right, everyone, big round of applause for all of you. Nice, great session. Thank you for having us.